up? It's Rich here with Statifying Football. This is week 10 of the college football season, and the MAC and Pac-12 are back here to play. In fact, the MAC action on Wednesday night. There are 6 MAC games. That's all the 12 MAC teams are going to play. Let's just dive right in. Eastern Michigan and Kent State. Eastern Michigan coming off a 6-7 season. Kent State coming off a 7-6 season. Kent State has a pretty good quarterback back in Dustin Crum, 26-25, passing 20 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions, ran for 707 and 6 touchdowns. Wide receiver Isaiah McCoy, 56 catches, 872 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Middle linebacker Mendell Lawrence Burke, 104 tackles. I think this could be a shootout, but I think Kent State will take this because Eastern Michigan, they have 10 returning starters, and they're losing Mike Glass, which was a really, really good quarterback. So Kent State there. Western Michigan and Akron. Western Michigan was 7-6. They had 12 returning starters. They were the 30th ranked scoring offense in the nation last year. They lost their quarterbacks, but they do have their receiver back in Sky Moore. 51 catches, 802, 3 touchdowns. Caleb Ellaby should be there playing. He started some last year. He started more a couple years ago, so they do have some experience there. Middle linebacker Trayshawn Hayward coming back with 142 tackles, one of the top tacklers in the nation. And they have a couple of running backs coming in from Michigan State and Nevada to bolster that. Akron, they're coming off an 0-12 season. The best they have is Cato Nelson, who will be a senior. He started all 4 years. He's okay. They have a pretty good linebacker in Bubba Arslanian with 125 tackles, but this should be Western Michigan all day long. All right, Buffalo and Northern Illinois. This could be a pretty interesting game. Buffalo was 8-5. They have 14 returning starters. They're the number 26 scoring defense in the nation last year. Kyle Van G's coming back with a decent running back, but this is about their running backs. Jarrett Patterson ran for 1,799 yards and 19 touchdowns, and Kevin Marks has had over 1,000 yards also, 1,035 and 8 touchdowns. So they got 2 1,000-yard running backs coming back there. Where the Northern Illinois, they just missed out on a bowl at 5-7. Ross Bauer is coming back. He did okay. Unfortunately, Trey Harbison, he transferred out. I think this will be a pretty close game, but I'll go Buffalo here. All right, Ohio State and Michigan. This should be a close one. Ohio's coming off a 7-6 season. They were the number 20 scoring offense, but they lost Nathan Worth, one of the best quarterbacks in MAC history and Ohio history. They do have Armani Rogers coming in from UNLV, who's been a pretty good dual threat the last couple of years at UNLV. And he has some experience, so he shouldn't be too bad there. Central Michigan, Jim McElwain came in and worked wonders. Central Michigan 2 years ago went 1-11. Last year, 8-6. They made it to the MAC championship game. They did lose, but they won 8 games last year, which was awesome. They're losing a 1,000-yard running back, but getting one back. Jonathan Ward ran for 1,000 yards. He's gone, but Kobe Lewis ran for 1,074 and 12 touchdowns. It really depends on who their quarterback will be, though. They lost their quarterback. This, again, both are kind of starting over at quarterback. This would be a pretty interesting one. I'll give the slight edge to Central Michigan. All right, Ball State, Miami of Ohio. Miami of Ohio actually won the MAC last year. They were 8-6. Brett Gabbert came in. He was fine, 2,411 yards, 11 touchdowns, 8 picks. Jalen Bester had 14 rushing touchdowns. They did have 2 linemen and a cornerback opt out, though. Where Ball State, they had one of the best scoring offenses nationally, 18th in the nation in scoring. Drew Plitt, 2,918 yards, 24 touchdowns to 7 picks. Caleb Huntley ran for 1,275 yards and 12 touchdowns. Cornerback Amechi Ozedema had 5 interceptions, so their offense can score on anybody. It's their defense that couldn't stop some people. Miami of Ohio normally has a pretty good defense. I'll go with Miami of Ohio here just because they were able to do it last year. But this will be a really, really interesting game. Ball State could be a potential MAC champion. All right, then the last one on Wednesday, Bowling Green and Toledo. Bowling Green, they went 3-9. Not much to say about them offensively. They have a good tight end in Quentin Morris, who had 55 catches for 649 yards and 4 touchdowns. Outside linebacker Colby Coleman had 103 tackles. To me, I think this will be Toledo. Toledo went 6-6, but they just missed. They weren't selected for a bowl game. Normally, they have a really, really potent offense. Eli Peters, he only had 828 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 picks. But 2 years ago, he had 18 touchdown passes to only 7. So he's a really good starter. And Toledo knows how to move the ball normally. Running back Bryant Koback, 1,187 rushing yards and 12 touchdowns. So I'm going to go Toledo to beat Bowling Green. Alright, now the Thursday games, there's 2 of them. Utah State and Nevada. Utah State, they got killed by San Diego State 38-7. Jason Shelley, a grad transfer from Utah, not a very good game. 88 passing yards, 1 touchdown and a pick. They had 3 turnovers. Nevada, they've looked really strong in their first 2 games. They beat UNLV 37-19. Carson Strong passed for 350 yards, 2 touchdowns. Remo Dobbs, 6 catches, 211 yards, and a touchdown. They put up 497 as an offense and had 3 sacks defensively. I'm going to go with Nevada there. Nevada looks like a really strong possible Mountain West contender. And you got Wyoming, Colorado State. Wyoming killed Hawaii 31-7 behind their defense, and Xavier Valladay running for 163 yards and 2 touchdowns. Defensively, they had 5 sacks and forced 2 turnovers in that game. Colorado State played their first game, I think, last week. They lost to Fresno State 38-17. Todd Centio, a grad transfer to Temple, did not have a very good game. 10 of 23, 141. He added 80 yards rushing, but they couldn't get it done. Trey McBride, about all Colorado State had, 8 catches, 130 yards, and a touchdown. Defensively, they did have 4 sacks, so if they want to, Wyoming won't really pass a whole lot, but that could get them to it. I'm going to go with Wyoming for the win. All right, 3 games on Friday. One actually really big one, but we'll get to that. First, the ACC. This should be an interesting one. Miami and NC State. Miami, a couple of weeks ago, they beat Virginia 19-14. Derek King, 322 passing and a touchdown. Mike Harley, 10 catches, 170 yards, and a touchdown hit there. NC State lost to North Carolina 48-21. In this game, 2 of their quarterbacks played. Devin Larry May played, but Hockman, 215 passing, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Ben Finley, 143, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. They only had 34 rushing yards and turnover 4 times. If they do that, Miami will smoke them. I actually think this could be kind of a high-scoring game, but I'll go with Miami with the edge to win. All right, Mountain West game, San Jose State and San Diego State. This is kind of the best versus best. San Jose State, the first 2 games have looked really good on offense. They beat New Mexico 38-21. Nick Starkel, 467 yards and 5 touchdown passes. Bailey Gaither, 10 catches, 208 yards and a touchdown. Trey Walker, 9 catches, 107 yards, 2 touchdowns. They had 579 yards in that game. Facing San Diego State, who the last 10 years, they basically statistically have been one of the best defenses in the nation, and yards, points, whatever, everything. They beat Utah State 38-7. Carson Baker, 163 passing, 2 touchdowns. But it's really about their running game. They ran for 407 yards, and they're not a triple option. They're just old school pro style, and they run it. 407 rushing, 570 total yards. Greg Bell ran for 157 and a touchdown. Defensively forced 3 turnovers there. I think this will be San Diego State. It should be able to at least hold San Jose State down enough. And I'm not so sure San Jose State will be able to stop San Diego State's running game. All right, now for a big national game. BYU and Boise State. BYU's, they're up in the top 10. They're number 9. Boise State, I think they're in the top 20. BYU beat Western Kentucky 41-10. Zach Wilson, 224 passing, 3 touchdowns, a pick, plus 35 rushing yards and a touchdown. Boise State, they beat Air Force 49-30. Hank Bachmeier didn't play quarterback. Jack Sears came in and was awesome. 17 of 20, 280, 3 touchdowns. C.T. Thomas, 2 catches, 101, 2 touchdowns, and then a kick return for a touchdown. I'm actually going to go Boise State here. BYU is great on offense, but the teams they played have not been very, very, very good at all. In fact, their best teams, UTSA, who's 3-4, they only beat them 27-20. And there was another game I can't remember, but they kind of struggled in that one. This is by far the best team they're going to play, and I think it could be a shootout, but I'm going to go Boise State with the upset there. So those are the weekday games. Hope you enjoy the MAC and the Pac-12. Watch my other videos for all the Saturday games to come. Peace.